Everybody, and welcome to my interview day today. I'm Lisa Stafford, and today I am joined by the lovely Sallyanne from Reflect Divorce Coaching. Hello, Sally, and thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Lisa. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on for a chat.
No problem at all. Now, just for the pleasure of our followers today, can you just explain to us what a divorce coach is and how you actually became to be a divorce coach?
For sure. So as a divorce coach, I work with clients at all stages of separation, including deciding whether to separate, right through to the end point of separation and beyond, resetting a new solo life afterwards. What I do is work with my clients around all of the non-legal stuff. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't advise on the legal stuff, but we work on communication, overarching divorce strategies, discussing your options in terms of collaborative law, mediation. Did I say communication strategies? I think so. Dialing down your emotions so that you can, we get the giggles, yeah. Dialing down emotions so that you can make some of the really big decisions that need to be made with a little more objectivity. I'm like your support person, and we use the word coach for a really good reason. I like to talk about my role pretty much like a sporting coach. You know, I'm going to give you the skills and the strategy to play the game. Now, I know divorce is not a game. I'm not suggesting that at all, but I give you the skills and the strategies that you need, but I can't play for you. You've got to go and do the work yourself. So you do the negotiation, but I'm in your back pocket, upskilling you, supporting you. I'm even the cheerleader on the sideline. I'm also your accountability buddy. So when you say you want to do something or achieve something or shift something or change something, I'm going to gently and lovingly hold you accountable to what you said you wanted to do.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm all of the things that you want and need as you negotiate and navigate your separation, divorce, except for the legal stuff.
And, you know, it's kind of like, it brings you back to that whole, like, you know, you need a tribe to be able to get through stuff like this. And it's really nice to know that you can be that support crew and that accountability crew and, you know, just have that empathy to help somebody through this. Kind of like a guardian angel, really, aren't you?
Well, kind of, yeah, you're divorce angel. And I love that you raised the fact that you need a tribe. You do need a tribe when you're navigating a divorce, and I'm just one part of that tribe.
Yeah.
You need your friends, you need your family, you need your lawyer, you might need a psychologist or a counsellor, you need a financial advisor, you need a property advisor like yourself. You know, you need that entire squad. I'm just one part of your squad.
Yeah.
You asked me how I became a divorce coach.
Yeah.
I became a divorce coach because I was doing this work before I even knew what a divorce coach was. When I divorced 13, 14 years ago, this type of role didn't really exist, particularly in Australia. And it was something that I was looking for without knowing what I was looking for. I had the lawyer, I had a psychologist, I'd had my kids, you know, with child psychologists, or I'd had advice from child psychologists to make sure they're all right. You know, I had my friends, I had my family, but I still felt really lonely and a bit lost and not sure that the way I was moving through it was right for me and right for my kids and right for our family. And I just really wished that there was somebody to kind of hold my hand, be my guide and my support person, particularly someone who kind of got it, not just from a personal experience, you know, having been there and done that, but also a little more broadly than that, but understood the system and understood what was coming next and what I should be thinking about next. So once I had been through that divorce, separation, and come out the other side with a relatively amicable relationship with my ex-husband, other women started coming to me and asking me, how did you do it? So that's how I sort of started doing this without the training, and realized that, you know, I wanted that.
There's a need for it.
There's a need. So I went and retrained and launched the business. So
that's excellent.
That's the how and the why, really.
Yeah. So how are you different to, I guess, a family lawyer or a mediator?
Really different to family lawyer in that I'm not family law trained, and I don't advise clients on legal stuff. I leave that to the experts, but absolutely can help with overcoming the overwhelm, being the bridge or the conduit between the lawyer and the client, just in terms of explaining some of the jargon
Or sometimes you need an
the
interpreter.
process. Yeah, an interpreter. Different to a counsellor in that coaching is really future focused. So I look with my clients to where they most want to be, and not just at the end of their family law matter, but 5, 10, 20 years time, and guide them to make decisions. Some of these bloody big life-changing decisions that need to be made when you're navigating a divorce, make those decisions with an eye on the prize, as in, where do you want to be when you're 40, 50, 60 and beyond? How do you want your life to look and feel? All right, well, we need to start making decisions around money.
I want to be
work
happy.
Happy comes up. Free, financially independent, living my best life, all that sort of stuff comes up. But drilling down underneath and working out what that really means practically, and how you get from where you are right now to happy, free, financially independent, empowered, self-confident. So making decisions now that lead you towards that end goal. I'm also different to a mediator in that I don't get in between a couple who are separating and divorced. I'll work one-on-one. I'll even at times work with both members of the couple, both husband and wife, or both.
Okay.
But
that's not a conflict of interest?
No, it's not a conflict of interest, provided the clients both understand that I'm working one-on-one. I'm not getting stuck in the middle.
Separately.
And that's about just drawing really clear boundaries, and not allowing the clients to get into a he said, she said, and I don't share, what one member of the couple is sharing with me, that doesn't get passed on to the other member of the couple. It's not my preferred way of working. I really like to work just with one client and one member of a couple, but I will do it in certain circumstances, provided the boundaries are really clear and the clients are really clear on what
and they'd have to be comfortable with it as well, I guess, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Do you generally work with the females, or do you also work with males?
Majority of my clients are females, but I'm finding more and more men are reaching out. I guess I have an empathy with the females because I am female. But I can also bring that empathy and understanding of the female perspective to my male clients, which they really appreciate. Often they just can't see the other party's perspective.
Oh, it's hard enough in a normal situation to understand what the other person. Men or women are very, very different, and I assume they'll never really get the other one because they're not in that situation themselves. So
and particularly when you're separating or separated and trying to build, say, a co-parenting relationship that's cooperative and collaborative, I can help each party understand the perspective of the other, and often it's like, oh wow, I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective before, and that opens up another channel for them to communicate in a different way or from a different perspective, and rebuild a new version of their relationship that allows them to either negotiate the sale of their property, negotiate their new co-parenting relationship.
Yeah, and so when the children are involved, how much support and how much guidance can you offer to your clients when there's kids?
Lots.
Yeah.
That's
where it's needed the most.
It's one of the areas that's really needed the most, because the questions that particularly my female clients ask, no, that's unfair. Actually, male, female, both. Will my kids be okay? Will I get to see my kids? How am I going to navigate? How am I going to cope with not seeing them every single day? But that will my kids be okay is the one question that almost every client brings to me. I know for me personally, it was huge. It was, how am I going to do this and make sure my kids are okay? And all of the research suggests that if you separate, divorce, and move forward and keep your kids out of the conflict, your kids will be okay. The other thing I say to particularly my female clients is, and particularly because they're generally the ones who are the prime carer, if you're okay, they'll be okay. So you've got to make sure you look after you. It's the old oxygen mask analogy. Yeah. Make sure you look after yourself.
So hard, that.
It's really hard, but it's not a luxury. Putting yourself first in this situation is not a luxury. It's actually a necessity. So if my clients are saying to me, what about my kids? What about my kids? I've got to do all this stuff. Yep, you do. You got to do all that stuff for your kids. But first of all, you've got to make sure you're okay, because they're taking their lead from you. They're learning from you, and they're absorbing by osmosis everything that you're putting out into the world. So you can tell them you're okay, but if you're not emotionally okay, you're not practically okay, then they're going to feel.
They'll see it, coming before you do. More often than not.
The other really important thing about making sure your kids are okay is really enabling them to have a positive relationship with their other parent. You know, I always say your kids aren't divorcing their other parent, you are. So keep your divorce out of your co-parenting relationship and keep your divorce away from your kids. That doesn't mean you don't share with them in an age and stage appropriate way what's happening and how that impacts on them, but you don't overburden them with the nitty-gritty of the divorce. They don't need to know that stuff, particularly younger kids. They just don't need to know that stuff. So keep them out of it as much as you can and enable them, really support them, and support your ex, their other parent, to have a really good relationship with them.
And I guess it's tough too, because you think about it, you've got, all this stuff going on, you're being forced into selling the home where your kids are comfortable and all that. And there's so much change to have to try to stomach and absorb, and that's where you need that team of experts and that the ones that you can trust to help you through it.
The village and the tribe.
And
going back to selling the home, often I find I often work through that emotional connection to the house with my clients, whether they're umming and ahhing whether to keep or sell, or whether they're being forced to sell. And something that I work really hard with my clients on is ensuring that they understand that home is, yes, it's a building, but it's much more than that. And going back to your kids, if you're okay, they'll be okay. And where you are is where home is. So you've created this beautiful home over here, the 4-bedroom, double garage, swimming pool, awesome home. You got to sell it. You can actually pick up the things that make that home and you can take it to a new chapter. And I know that you understand that, because
but while you're going through it, it's really hard to actually visualize that and feel that and know that that's actually possible, because it just feels like it's being ripped out from underneath you, and your heart's just as a result, your heart's left on the table.
Absolutely. So it becomes an exercise too, in managing your mindset and getting your heart as well as your mind ready for a new chapter while you're still navigating the mess and the muck of the old one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Sallyanne, you have just been an absolute wealth of knowledge and information today, and I just want to thank you so much for your time and your energy and the power that you bring to the service that you provide. So, Sallyanne, if somebody was wanting to know a little bit more about what you do and how to get in touch with you, how would they go about finding you?
Probably the easiest way to find me is on my website, reflectcoaching.com.au, or I'm easily trackable on social media, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you. Reflect Coaching. Or just give me a ring, pick up the phone, call me, send me a text, 0417 030 198.
That's gold. Thank you again so much, Sallyanne. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Lisa, for your time. Great to chat, as always.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you in the next interview session.